In this lesson, we will install Visual Studio. I assume you are an upcoming .NET developer using Windows. If you use any other operating system, I have to tell you that Visual Studio is Windows only. If that's you, please set up your development environment using different tools such as Visual Studio Code. Now that we are all Windows users, let's navigate the browser to visualstudio.com to download the Visual Studio installer. We see the Visual Studio family with Visual Studio on the left. Using the drop-down, we can choose from the list of available editions. We use the Community Edition in this course because it is free for personal use, such as learning.NET development. The download only takes a few seconds and we start the downloaded Visual Studio setup executable. It lets us know that it needs to download and configure additional resources, which we acknowledge by pressing the Continue button. After a few more seconds, we see the Visual Studio installer. The Visual Studio installer is a great tool that helps us configure what parts of Visual Studio we want to install. The whole product is enormous and includes web development, cloud-first development, Python development, Node.js development, mobile apps, desktop apps, game development, and even extension development for Visual Studio. We select the .NET Desktop Development Workload, which includes WPF, Windows Forms, console applications, and the required .NET SDKs, software development kits. It uses about 7.7 GB of hard disk space. On the right side, we see the installation details that list the individual components that will be installed. When we click on the second tab, the Individual Components tab, we have a lower level list of all the available components that we can install. For now, we do not need to add additional components. You can open the Visual Studio installer at any time to install additional workloads or individual components. The Language Packs tab allows us to choose additional language packs for Visual Studio. If you prefer to have your development environment in your first language and are lucky enough that a translation is available, you can install it here. However, I have German as my first language and I still install Visual Studio in English. It has always been the case, even back when I didn't really speak English. The reason is that if error messages appear or you want to search in a search engine for a specific feature, you'll have an easier time looking for the English name. The last tab allows us to change the installation locations. Feel free to adjust the settings to your desire, but I keep all the defaults and click the Install button on the bottom right of the dialog. Depending on your internet connection, it takes a few minutes to download and install Visual Studio, including all the required components. After the installation has been completed, we are asked to sign in or create an account. We skip this for now using the text button on the bottom. The official documentation says that, while it's not required to sign in, you might periodically get prompts to sign in if you haven't done so. Please sign into the IDE to continue using Visual Studio Community without the interruptions. I do have an account and sign in with it, but you can decide for yourself if you want to do that to get a few advantages such as synchronized settings. Next, we can choose the general development settings. I use Visual Studio C#, which focuses on C# development. You can also use the general settings, but I would not use any other options. We can also choose the theme we want to use. I like the blue theme the most, but feel free to choose something else that better suits your style. You can always change it in the future. We finally press the Start Visual Studio button. Now we are finally in the Visual Studio Start dialog. On the left, we see a list of recently opened solutions or projects. Since this is the first time we launch Visual Studio, the list is empty. On the right, we can clone an existing repository, open an existing project or solution, open a local folder, or create a new project. There is also an option to continue without code. When we click on the Create a New Project button, we get a list of all the available project templates. However, we will learn about how to create projects in a future module. For now, let's start Visual Studio without code. Now, we are finally in Visual Studio. This is where you will learn C# and implement your first .NET application in a few minutes. On the top right, you can sign in or create an account if you want to do that. You can use an existing Microsoft account or create a new account. If you decide to sign in, I would recommend using your existing Microsoft account. On the top left, you have all the menu options. Don't get overwhelmed, we will learn about the most important menus throughout this course together. However, we want to make sure the development environment is correctly installed and works as expected. We create a new console application using the File New menu. Within the Create a New Project dialog, we select the console application with the C# icon on the top left and click the Next button. On the second page of the Project Creation dialog, we set project-specific settings such as a project name, the location on the disk, and the solution name. I use hello.net as the project name and keep the other settings as they are and click Next again. On the last page, we can select the framework we want to use for our application. We will stick with the default selection for now and click the Create button. You will learn much more about .NET, the framework versions, and how it all works in a future module. After Visual Studio generated the console application, we click the green Play button with the hello.net label to compile and start the program. If everything works as expected, you should see a console window with Hello World printed. Congratulations! Your .NET development environment is set up, and I cannot wait to write the first .NET application with you.